Welcome back to the vlog and welcome here to Grand Gulch Mine, northwestern Arizona. Landed here a little bit ago, probably like an hour ago. Walked down to the mine, which is by, I don't know, not quite a half a mile or so. Walked around. If you want to see that, go check out the video right before this and the landing in here and everything. But the time has come now where I'm going to be heading back down to Pierce Ferry, just like a 20-minute flight. That's where I departed from last time. So in the past like 15 minutes trying to get my plane ready, I now have like a direct crosswind out of here. Thankfully it's only like, I don't know, 3 or 4 knots. But it's just like a dirt road, as you can see. This is all BLM land. An old mine from like the late 1800s to mid 1960s. It's a copper mine. So anyway, let's jump in, get out of here, and get on a 20-minute flight down to Pierce Ferry. Another dirt runway with an incredible approach, which I'm not going to do today because the winds are going the opposite way. So let's jump in, get out of here. So yeah, here's this backup camera. It's like, resolution is like 480. It's pretty crappy. Looks like it's like twisted off a little bit. Maybe I'll have to adjust that a little bit. So Pierce Ferry is only, as you guys can see, we're here at Grand Gulch. It's just down like 20 miles away or so. It's really not that far, but there's a lot of traffic around there. So let me flip this on right here. This will bring up any helicopter traffic because there's a lot of tours, things like that. So I just want to make sure that I'm not getting in their way and they're not in my way. So this is about, I'm guesstimating, I don't know, maybe I'd say 2% slope, maybe 1.5% going uphill that way. You might be asking yourself, well, why are you taking off uphill? Well, because I've got 5 or 6 knots coming from that direction, more from that direction now, but we're at 4,400 feet right now. So density altitude will play in effect a little bit because this is only a little 100 horsepower airplane. So this runway is about 3,000 feet long is from what I read online. Fuel selectors are turned on. Let's flip over to page. Yeah, we're still really good on fuel. Our brakes are good. Our controls, I've already checked when I was outside, but let's just check them all the way in here as well. We got a little bit of a crosswind out of the left, maybe just a couple of knots. It's about a 2% uphill takeoff for me today, but the winds are coming this way. So, and it's just all open plains up there, so if I had an emergency or something like that, there's going to be a lot higher chance that I'm going to be walking away from it than if I go this way, which is a huge drop off right behind me, but lots of kind of turbulent winds. So this is my option for the safest. Grand Gulch Mine, Kit Fox 24 Kilo Bravo will be departing runway 35 to the southeast for Pierce Ferry. Alright, transponder is on. If we do need to abort for any reason, it's just going to be remaining on the runway, probably dropping flaps just to get down and on the ground, is have maximum braking without the chance of ever flipping over or anything like that. And we'll just remain on the runway after takeoff. We'll be pitching for 65 knots with full flaps close to the ground, going all the way down to 55 knots. Alright. Trim is set, flaps are set, pump is on, fuel is on, these are all on. We got all that in there. We've already made our call, so we're good to go. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, let's see if there's any, nope, no traffic around. Now let's see, because we're at 4,300 feet, well, 4,400 feet indicating, we're gonna have a little bit more density altitude to deal with today. So the tail's gonna take a little bit longer to come up. So let's see. There's 40, full flaps off the ground, and then start dropping my flaps back on down, get my speed back up. Now that we're over 70, we'll go ahead and get the rest of the flaps, start getting our trim a little bit more forward. There we go. So here's the mine right here. And like I said, if you're interested in seeing a little bit more of a walk around and stuff, go check out the video right before this one. They got some old dump trucks from, I don't know, 30s, 40s. I have no idea. They're very old though. Pretty cool though. Okay, so I was mentioning density altitude just right before takeoff. It took me, I'm counting how long it takes me to get my tail up. It took me 5 seconds for the tail to come up until I started feeling it come up. Where down in Kingman, where I flew out this morning, it took 3 seconds. And we were at 3,000 density altitude there today. So just to give you kind of a reference, another guy, another pilot in the Yellow Highlander, I met him at Oshkosh, that's what he does. I was like, that's a really great idea to give you an idea of like how long it's taking you, what you're expecting, ground roll, things like that. And because again, I'm still learning this, that's a really good way for me to start getting more comfortable with doing some of these off airport or just dirt road air landings, things like that. So I know how long it's gonna, should take me to get off the ground, you know? Well, we are going to have to go around a little section of the Grand Canyon Monument airspace, just because you can see it just cuts right through it, which is only a couple of miles out of the way, but that's all right. As you can see, this plane just gets whipped around from just 3 or 4 knots of wind. But man, one of these days when there is no wind early in the morning, maybe if I come out here and camp out or something and get out early in the morning, they'll fly up and down these canyons because these are absolutely majestical, which is magical and majestic put together. But let me bring open what information I do have for Pierce Ferry. The runway is 01 and 19er. So I landed on 01 earlier this morning. I had maybe about 10 knots, 8 to 10 knots of wind with maybe a little bit of a quartering headwind by maybe like 3 or 4 knots, maybe at most. It's right traffic for 01. So we're just going to enter into a downwind and then land on runway 01. It's just a dirt runway. I would say that the one out here where I just took off from was actually in a little bit better condition than what this one is. Not condition, but there's just a lot more like kind of like baseball sized rocks out here. So I'm gonna make a good walk around, make sure that I don't pick any rocks up or anything like that to hit the tail. But that's really the only information I have here. I mean, there's a couple of helicopters you can see right here. There's one that's below 500 feet below me, and he's just heading up the canyon, heading out that way, so I'll be sure that I'm announcing where I am in a minute. But if you're a flight simmer and you would like to try some of these flights that I'm doing, even here in Arizona, out to Grand Gulch Mine or Pierce Ferry, or this exact same flight, then check out my Patreon page. I post a lot of that stuff. I put on the extra on-the-ground content, a lot of stuff from Papua New Guinea, and I'm starting to do some like maintenance videos and things like that. So if you're more interested in the Kit Fox and finding out a little bit more about that, that'd be a really great option. And if you don't know how to fly and you want to learn how to fly, like flight sim and stuff, I've actually got a course that's going to walk you through. It's great for beginners or intermediates as well. If you want to learn more about flying, or even just more about flying the Kodiak that I flew in New Guinea, this is going to be a really great option for you to get started in on that. It looks like I've got about 10 knots on the tail. When I came up here, I had about 89 knots ground speed. Now I'm just peaking over 100 knots right now. So now if you're wondering, well, Ryan, why aren't you like going down all the rivers and things like that? Well, this right here is actually a recreational area, and they request pilots. Not mandatory, but they do request pilots to fly at 2,000 feet AGL at least as a minimum. So that's why I'm at 5,100 feet today. A little bit more boring, but with those things, you know, I was reading up on some things just regarding recreational areas and stuff, because it's been like 10 years since I've flown in the States, just looking to see what the requirements are or things like that. And it isn't a requirement that I fly at 2,000 feet, but it is requested of pilots to do that. And the way I look at it is, they start with a request and then they come out with a mandate. Just like years and years ago, people used to be able to fly down the Grand Canyon, but now it's so busy now they have rules and regulations not allowing that unless you jump through the right hoops. So I'll just maintain my 2,000 feet. Looks like we got one helicopter just going past Pierce Ferry now, but he should be on his way back to Vegas here shortly. Well, you can see Pierce Ferry already off in the distance out there. We're 8 miles out. I'll give a call real quick. Pierce Ferry traffic, experimental hitbox 24 Kilo Bravo, 8 miles to the north-northeast, 4,900, inbound for landing, Pierce Ferry. Let's quickly look to see again. The runway is 2940, so really 3,900 feet is going to be my pattern altitude. You can see I just have to go around this tiny little section, but that's alright. Only probably adds like a minute to my flight. So 3,900 feet, I'm at 4,800 feet. I'll start my descent here in just a second. If you're wondering what lake this is out here, this is Lake Mead. This airstrip is another airstrip that I'd probably really like to go camping. I'd love to kind of bounce around. It is getting into winter now though, and I'd have to go buy a bunch of winter camping gear, and I'm not really wanting to do that, so not sure what I'm going to do yet. But if you're a pilot and you've got an airplane and you'd like to come fly with me out here in Arizona, like you're close by or not, you just want to come out here and bounce around, leave some comments down below or send me an email. I would love to have someone to go fly with, because it's kind of boring flying by yourself after a while, you know? Pierce Ferry traffic, experimental kitbox 24 Kilo Bravo, 4 miles to the north, 4,600 on descent. We'll be tracking to fly overhead midfield, join right downwind runway 01, Pierce Ferry. Well, from Pierce Ferry back to where I live down in Kingman, it's about, on average, like a 35-minute flight, but I'm going to have like a 10 to 12 knot tailwind all the way back home, so that should cut down a little bit. But I've flown that flight with you guys before, so I'm not doing that video today. That's why I'm coming right back here to Pierce Ferry, just because it's a little bit of a cooler area than, well, flying into Kingman, I think. It's an untowered old airport, very big, nothing special. All right, we got a bunch of helicopters over that way, going that way, probably up that valley over there. But they've all passed me. There's probably like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tour helicopters heading out that way. There's 4,100. We wanted 3,940 basically for pattern altitude. I'm assuming the winds are still going the same direction, which is kind of that way. Coming out of, I don't know, 030 or something. But just look at the approach here. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. It's all BLM land out here. You can go camping right on the edge of the cliffs. Pretty sweet. All right, there is the windsock. Had a hard time finding it earlier this morning. There's 4,500 on the RPM. We'll leave it there. That'll let us just kind of slowly slow down. I used to have 2 runways, but that one's all closed. Well, it looks like the winds are actually kind of died down. Looks like it's just kind of hanging there limp now. That's cool. Pierce Ferry traffic, hitbox 24 Kilo Bravo, join right downwind 01, Pierce Ferry. Alright, brakes are good, that's good. If we need to go around, it's just power up and get out of there. We'll come in at 65 knots, still short final. Go full flaps now. Trim all the way back. We'll land a little bit of ways in because there was some bigger rocks kind of at the end that I noticed this morning, so. Pierce Ferry traffic, 24 Kilo Bravo, turning final, 01 Pierce Ferry. Alright, checklist is complete. If you guys want one of these boxes, I got them on my site. Great for sims, great for your own personal plane, great for training. I still use it on all my flights. Alright, a little high, not the best approach, but we'll take it. Alright, we're continuing. We'll land just a little bit past those little bushes. Do a 180, go back down there. Well guys, I hope you did enjoy that flight. It was only like, I don't know, 15-minute flight or so. But like I said, if you are interested in doing the flight up there on your own home sim, check out my Patreon. If you're interested in seeing some more bush content, coming up here very shortly, I'm going out to Utah, like I said, and hopefully bouncing around to a bunch of them out there. I don't really know all the details exactly how it's going to quite work yet. Going out there with a couple other guys and their airplanes, but I'm really excited because that is really the reason why I got this plane, and that's why I'm naming it the Adventure Fox, because man, I want to do adventures in this thing, and I want to be able to share these with you and get you guys excited about aviation like I am. There are kind of big bushes out here halfway into the runway, and this right here, where I can't see anything over there, I have my backup cam. It's a really long runway, so I'm just going to quickly do a 180 here. Well guys, this is Pierce Ferry. There's really not much out here. It's just all BLM land. If you're not from America, what BLM land is, it's basically public lands. People can use it. And I'm not sure exactly what this airstrip was ever originated for, but there was 2 of them here, so clearly there was enough traffic coming in and out of here at one point. Either way, I've got about a 30-minute flight back home today. I sure hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoy taking you guys along on my flights because, well, it's kind of boring flying by yourself. And having you guys there with me kind of feels like I'm flying with somebody. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.